Hi and welcome to a new Tech Stuff episode on my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my current setup of my Fatshark Dominator HD1 version goggles. I'm going to talk about the latest modification I did on these. What I currently use on these goggles, first thing is the faceplate from Fatshark itself, the original one in white color with the integrated fan, which helps to keep the lenses clear from any fog, so you have clear view any temperatures and any kind of weather outside. This is really perfect for best flying conditions with these goggles. The receiver module I use on these goggles is from Ishin. It's the Pro 58 RX Diversity module, but I use it with original firmware, and because of this I don't use in Diversity. I just use connector B. It depends on how I fly. I change from the Foxy antenna when I fly 360 around me, and if I fly long range in just one direction or more or less in 90 degree one direction, I use the patch antenna from TBS, which work great, and like this everything's fine. It's a very cheap module which have OLED display, and it shows all the information you need on the module. The battery I use is still my Gensace 1300 mAh 2S LiPo with 25C. This is a really trusty battery, no issues so far with it. That's the setup I use today, and now we have a look at the latest modification. My last modification I did on these goggles is how to connect the battery to the goggles, so how to power up the goggles. The original solution is a round plug from Fatshark where you connect the battery to the goggles, and separately you have to connect your balancer plug to the balancer connector on your faceplate to power up the fan. And there are two issues in my opinion. The first one was the original plug, the round plug which goes from the battery to the goggles. I had some issues with the electrical contact. It wasn't really safe. Sometimes I lost picture, and firstly I thought it is a problem on the goggles itself, but I figured out that it was only a bad connection inside, a bad electrical connection inside the original Fatshark plug. So what I did is that let's just open the cover here to have a better look at the modification. I decided to take off the whole original plug on the electronics plate and just solder the two cables directly to the plate, so no more original plug on the electronics plate, and the cable goes to 3.5 millimeter gold plugs which I directly connect to my battery. So there is no more switch, no more strange connectors which won't work well, but these gold plugs are very trusty. I have best experience with this solution, and since then I have no more fails with my live footage from my drone. The second modification is also about the powering the fan. You always had to plug in the balancer plug, which is not super strong. That means the thin cables easily tend to break, and if you have to plug in and plug out and all the stuff, the cables sometimes break, or perhaps before you fly you forget to plug in, and then you're flying and you want to turn on your fan and nothing happens, and you already have fog on your lenses, and then you have a high risk for a crash. So I decided to change that to do the same circuit, electrical circuit, like powering the goggles. So I also soldered the power cables for the fan directly on the electronics plate of the goggles, go out from the goggles with the cable through the headband up to the plug on the faceplate and solder the cables directly into the plug of the faceplate. And like this you have a secure connection, 100% clean connection, and you only need to plug in one 3.5 millimeter connector to get power on the whole system, on the goggles itself and also on the faceplate or on the fan, which helps you keeping the lenses clean. And with this setup, I never ever forget again to connect my fan. Everything works well, and in my opinion this is a great solution to fly safe and to never forget again something to connect or have broken cables which also turn off your fan and all the troubles you can get with more than one connection. And last but not least, we go for a short test to show you how it works. So as soon as I connect my 3.5 millimeter plug, my receiver module turns on and I'm able to turn on my fan just with one single plug. Everything is powered up, and like this the whole system works fine. And just unplug this plug again, this connector again, and everything's off again. So that is already all for today. I hope you liked the video. A very important message to everybody out there. I wish everybody a happy new year, and as always, happy flying. Bye bye.